Hello, Javier. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking.
No worries, mate. Are you enjoying quarantine in Fight Island?
Yeah, actually, I'm enjoying it because I have to catch up with a lot of people I needed to talk to, and been doing some pretty good interviews with people. And you're my last one of the day, and let's make the last the best, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. Hopefully, anyway. So I just want to say before I get started, I appreciate your time and thank you for coming on and everything.
No problem, no problem. I'm sorry we couldn't get on yesterday, but my phone was going off the charts and it was like message after message and it was blocking me. So as you notice, that's why, and I couldn't get my iPhone. I didn't have time to look at my iPhone, my iPad, I'm sorry, not my iPad, to try to figure out how to get in my email. I can't get in my email. So I can't get in my email. I can't talk to you. So I have to talk to you on my iPhone. And if people start calling me, they're going to block me again. And then you're going to have a horrible interview because you're going to see me get blocked halfway out, like you did yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So right now, so far, so good. No one's calling.
Yeah, we're here now, so it's all good. So first of all, I just want to get into a bit of your history first, because a lot of people don't actually know that much about how you sort of got into coaching and into combat sports. Because
Yeah.
I made a post before about how you was a kickboxing champion, a former kickboxing champion.
Correct.
Yeah. So how was it like for
You
you?
don't want me to start from the beginning, though, because that's take too many hours. I have too much. If we go from my history to this and that, it's going to be way, way too much. Okay, so let's just. You want to just start? I mean, it's up to you. You got hours?
I've got the time. It's more about you.
It's gonna take a bit. Let's just say I started kickboxing in 1985. I became a light heavyweight ISKA champion, light cruiserweight. I'm sorry, in 1992. I lost my title to Petrowski in 94. I fought at my natural weight in 95. I won the light heavyweight ISK full contact world title against Conrad Pla. I defended it one time and I retired in 1995. From that point, my first UFC fighter, not my fighter per se, but the first person I worked in the UFC was Paul Poliver Varlins, who I haven't checked, but he's got COVID. He was in a coma last month, I was told. So my prayers go out to him if he didn't make it. I haven't heard any news on it, so I'm hoping he survived. I don't know, but anyways, if he did pass, my prayers out to his family and his loved ones. He was a great guy. So Paul Varlins, I got introduced through Brian Johnston, who was my first UFC fighter. Brian was my student. He became my first student to fight. Not my first student to fight, but he was my boxing champion. He was a boxer. I put him to a boxer. He was a boxing champion for me in Northern California, Golden Gloves. From that point, he got into, he wanted to know if he had a chance to do something good in MMA. And at that point, I said, well, yeah, I think so, because he asked if he could be a boxer. And I said, well, yeah, but you're 26 years old. I said, at your age, you started late. I go, maybe you could be like a Tommy Morrison, Tommy Morrison was John Wayne's late, grandson or something like that. And he didn't like that answer that I gave him. So he goes, F that. He goes, I'm going to be better than that. So do you know anything about the UFC? And I said, well, I knew Art Davie, who was the matchmaker, who happened to be also a K1 matchmaker for K1 USA. And so I knew him because I had some fighters. Jerome Turcan was a world champion, and Jean-Claude Loyer, who was a world champion. So I contacted Art Davie and I said, hey, I have a kid. Back then it was all about size, bro. It wasn't about great talent. It was about size. I have a good kid, la 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 la. Myself and Mike Swain, who was the first American to win a world title in judo. Yeah, we vouched for him. So that was all we needed to say. Boom, in. We didn't know anything about MMA. The Gracies had the lockdown on how to really fight, what was fighting really all about. Let's face it, if they didn't, they wouldn't have won so much at the earlier stages. They wouldn't have killed. So, in other words, if they weren't the leaders in this, there's no way that 180-pound guy could have beat these monsters the way he did. So they were the leaders. Their style proved that if you're gonna be anything, you better know Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. You know, if you don't, your chances are diminished. You know, because the guys that have that jiu-jitsu are going to be the winners, man. And they proved it. They proved it. Still to this day, you know, they're still proving that if you don't have great jiu-jitsu along with sambo or whatever, you better have knowledge of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You see, I just got a call.
It's fine. We'll roll with it. Roll with the punches. So, yeah, as you said, it's like you need to know jiu-jitsu, and like, as we've seen in today's game, you sort of need to know a lot more about the ground game than you do the striking in some senses.
In some senses, yes, and a lot of these guys are understanding that, so they're getting so good on the ground that they're developing great stand-up. And now you got these great stand-up guys like Israel Adesanya, who's one of my favorites. You know, he comes into the game learning jiu-jitsu correctly, learning wrestle, and now a lot of these guys, they're trying to play catch-up. Well, he has close to 100 fights and hardly lost any fights. So now you're dealing with a master striker, and you can't take to the ground. And if you do take to the ground, you can't keep him there. So now you got a problem. You got a major problem. And that's what you got now. So now it's not a matter of, and I knew it was coming to that day when it wasn't going to be a matter of a kickboxer versus this. It's a fighter versus a fighter. But if you happen to have great kickboxing skills and you can get off the ground, man, you got a large jump to come through, because you got to deal with that great striking of his, and he's so relaxed, and you know he's an unbelievable fighter. So you got to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely. And when you started AKA and like obviously got involved with the MMA world, did you ever think that it was going to be as big as it is now?
I didn't know. I just knew that I loved it, you know, and then it was exciting, you know. It was my fighters wanted to do it, so I went. I was still training boxers too, but once I got Frank Shamrock through Brian Johnston, I kind of just focused on MMA guys. Actually, I lie. Hold on, no, I didn't focus on MMA guys. I was just focusing on gym and training some MMA guys. I didn't become the head team coach of AKA, because originally AKA was not AKA. AKA was Frank Shamrock Submission Fighting Academy. It was started with Frank Shamrock, and Crazy Bob Cook was the one running it. I was not teaching any of this. I was selective way back then. I would only train certain people. I didn't train everybody, only certain people. So Frank Shamrock Submission Academy became AKA. But it didn't start as AKA. It started as Frank Shamrock Submission, Academy, And the reason why we switched it to AKA is because there was point there where Frank had burned so many bridges with so many promoters. You mentioned Shamrocks, and nobody wanted to fight you. Nobody wanted to talk to you. So I told Crazy Bob Cook, because one of the announcers at one of these events at the Teatri Palace said, "From AKA," and I never heard AKA. It was always American Kickboxing Academy. He said, "From AKA," and I'm like, what are you talking about, AKA? We're American Kickboxing Academy. But he said AKA, and I'm like, it stuck. From that point, I would just say, hey, you know what? Let's call ourselves American Kick AKA. Don't say Frank Shamrock Submission. Say AKA. So it started. Crazy Bob Cook started saying AKA. We started getting fights. It turned into AKA. And I wasn't the head coach back then. I was not. I just trained a couple people here and there. I didn't become the head coach till Josh Thompson. Basically, he got me. Josh Thompson is the reason why I became the head coach of AKA and taught the whole team. I was only selective. I was very, very selfish with my time. I didn't want to give it to everybody because, honestly speaking, I was dealing with sleep apnea. It was hard for me, and if everybody knows what sleep apnea is, you're dealing with a major problem. And I had no energy. And so I basically, I'm struggling, So I only worked with Josh Thompson, but Josh Thompson was getting such great training. He said that he wanted me to teach the team. I said, no, I'm only going to train you. He goes, no, you got to train. So he got me to train Trevor Prangley from Idaho, from Trevor Prangley. Next thing you know, I'm the head coach of the team. But it was because of Josh Thompson that all this happened.
Yeah. So really, you was rolled in with the punches as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, you've been involved with fighting for so long. I'm sure that you like to take a break and do other things sometimes. So what would you say is like your sort of release from fighting?
To be honest with you, what I'm doing now, doing nothing. I don't mind talking about fighting. What I'm doing now is nice. The only thing that's missing, honestly, if the gym was open, it'd be cool, and I can watch Netflix.
Yeah.
That'd be cool on a big screen, not my little iPad. That would be awesome. And then I love Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I'm like an Instagram junkie, bro. I mean, let's put it this way: I'm such a junkie that I put a post out there on Instagram, and I reposted with some other Sean Merriman, who's a famous football player, put something about it's okay if you leave a dog outside in America unattended, this and that, you go to jail. But if you leave a homeless person over there, you get nothing. It's okay to leave a homeless out there, but you can't leave a dog. And I made a post that said, you would think, I put the same post, but I said, you would think with a country as strong as America, as powerful as we are, that our tax dollars would go towards taking care of our homeless. They frickin' 5 days, they put a stop on me. Restrictive action, this and that. The social media is incredible, powerful. I mean, they're more powerful than the president, Didn't Twitter just delete his account?
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah.
They banned him.
They're more powerful than president.
So I just want to talk a little bit about Khabib now. Obviously, he's meant to be retired, and then he is retired at the moment. He's got to have a conversation with Dana in the coming weeks. And I've read something somewhere that he hasn't actually had a conversation with you about it. Is that right?
Never has. Never talked to me about it. I never talked to him about it. I'm not going to talk to him about it. That's something that he'd have to talk to his mother. Not me. I'm there for him. Whatever he wants to do. Look to your right. I'm there. I always say that. I make that speech. All Javier looks to his right. His coach is there with him. So whatever decision he makes, I'm with him. But I'm not going to make that decision for him. If he wants to tell me, Coach, what do you think? What should I do? I will tell him. He hasn't asked me. So I can't speak for him. Mm-hmm. I can just say I back up whatever he says, whatever he does. I'm his guy.
Yeah. And obviously you haven't got to tell me. I don't want you to tell me if you don't want to, but what would you want him to do?
I would want him to do what's in his heart. If he wants to fight, we'll discuss that. And I'm not saying he does want to fight or doesn't want to fight. I'm just saying we haven't had that conversation. Yeah. So I would want whatever in his heart, whatever he wants to do. I can tell you he's young enough. He's still in his prime, but, I don't want him to do anything he doesn't want to do. Because, listen, if I say, yes, I want him to fight, but he doesn't, I don't have the same Habib. I do not have the same Habib. I don't have the same mental strength. I don't have the same guy that I did. So I cannot go on what a coach wants. You better go on what the fighter wants, because if he doesn't want it and you're forcing it, or he's doing it because you're forcing it, you're not getting the same results. You're not going to get the great fighter, that you had the last time. So this has to be a decision that he makes, and it's between him and his family, not me. And I don't have a problem never seeing him fight. I don't have a problem coaching with him for the rest of my life. I don't have a problem not coaching with him. I would have a problem not being in his life, but I wouldn't have a problem with anything else.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like, from what everyone's seen on social media and everything else, we can safely say that you are lifelong friends and you are always going to be in his life.
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, as far as my desire and what I want, he'll be in my life to the rest of my life.
Yes, of course. And then in a hypothetical world, what would your ideal last fight for Khabib be? Would it be a GSP fight, or would it be somebody different?
In that type of reality type scenario, if it was a reality, I would want what his father wanted: 30-0 GSP and him in a big major arena. Mm-hmm. That's what I would want. If you're asking what I want, I would want what his father wanted for him. 30-0. It has to be GSP. Yeah, because that's what his father wanted.
Yeah, of course. And then I've heard as well before, you said Conor McGregor was actually you saw it as his hardest test, Is that still like true? Do you think that's like definitely his hardest test looking back through his whole career?
Yeah, 100%. He's the greatest threat, you know, and you know, some of the things people have been making comments about that I must like Connor, this and that, but you know what? You're only asking me about how his ability. Am I going to lie about how great his ability is? Now, you know, and so I'm going to state this: he is the biggest threat, and he's a great talent. He's one of the greatest, you know. But as a person, I don't respect him. I have zero respect for him as a person because he attacked the country, religion, and family. You know, and he, to me, he did all the 4 no's, and he kept doing it. You know, he kept doing it and doing it. He used the art of war type tactics. You know, and it was like no boundaries were off for him, and it's all business for him. But you know, you started things within Habib. You created something within him that shouldn't have been created. You notice he fights Justin Gaethje, very respectful. Listen, that you notice he fights Dustin Poirier, very respectful. Everybody's very respectful. Now with Connor, he wasn't, and still to this day not, and he never will be. You know, he broke something that maybe can be fixed. I don't know, but he broke something. And for me, you know, I don't dislike the guy. I just don't like his tactics. I just disagree with what he did.
Yeah.
Can you excuse me? I got to get this real quick. Can you excuse me?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello. Hello. Yes, it's outside. I know. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sorry.
It's fine. And obviously, a lot of people still talk about the Khabib-Tony Ferguson fight, but for me, that sort of has been dispelled over the last month or so because of the Oliveira Ferguson fight. I see that as
that fight was never meant to be. It was jinxed from the get-go. Tony, hopefully he can regain some of what he had. He's making you know, I just hope he gets back to where he was, and he has a good ending into his career at some point, and he's happy in his life. It's just that fight wasn't meant to be. You know,
yeah.
It wasn't meant to be. You know, and it's just it. And then there's no nothing. I mean, it's like the fight wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. And with Khabib, can you see him transitioning into being a coach?
100%. 100%. He learned from the best, his father. You know, he can definitely transition into to be a great coach. You know, I'm the head coach for the team. He nominated me. They all nominated me. So I took that position over. So I have AKA and Team Eagle, or Team Eagle and AKA, however you want to call it. I'm the head coach for both.
Yeah, that must be a very good feeling for you to know that the whole team, not just Khabib or not just certain people, the whole team nominated you to take over that role.
Yeah, the whole team wanted me there. Both times I've been here, you know, because I come in just to coach, and I said, well, what do you guys want? They go, well, what do you mean? I go, well, what do you guys want me to do? They go, well, you're head coach. I go, well, what do you mean head coach? I go, you mean you want me to run? He goes, you're head coach. You tell us. And I'm like, I get humbled, you know, because I'm like, they all want me to be their head coach, and I'm okay. I'm the head coach. So now I'm getting more comfortable saying I'm the head coach. And I am the head coach.
Yeah, definitely. And with Khabib, I just want to say a little thing about him. He's like, when you watch like fighting, in my mind, it's sort of, when you go into a fight, it's obviously a fight. One person can knock out one person at any time. And with Khabib, like, obviously the hype's always there beforehand. Like, say with the Conor McGregor fight, oh, he's going to knock him out and all this stuff. But when he's actually in the cage, it's like there's no other fighter in the world that can sort of put all that hype to bed within seconds of the fight starting, sort of thing. Khabib's just literally just makes all that disappear. And it's unbelievable for me to watch Khabib fight, because no other person can do that.
No other person has ever done that. And that's why I say it, and I'll say it again, no matter what people say. I defended my title 15 times or 1,000,000 times, or I got this title and that title, because of how he did it and who he did it to. To me, he's the greatest fighter of all time. That's just my opinion. Agree or disagree, but you know what? That's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, a lot of people say that John Jones is because he's defended his title, like you just said. But at the end of the day, there's not a person on the earth that's done what Khabib has done throughout his whole career. And
hey, Lance Armstrong was the Tour de France how many times?
Yeah.
And what happened? What happened when he got tested? What happened? How many Tour de France are you in now? I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. History says history. You know, if this is a true sport, which it isn't really, then who is really the greatest?
Yeah. In some ways, you can't argue with it. You really can't.
You can do all you want, but if you're really going by how the real sports go, if you want to do what you want to do, okay, this is the thing. Okay, Lance Armstrong, people that know that he wasn't the only one, probably the whole team was doing it, right? But the fact that he got caught, the whole team, from what I was told, anybody was at that level, they were doing what he was doing. But he got caught. Don't count. How's that? That's not fair. Everybody else was doing it. Yeah, but you got caught, so you go to jail. Sad as it is, fair as it is, right?
Yeah, of course. If you're doing it and you get caught, then at the end of the day, you've done it. It's your
like I've heard interviews with Jordan Burroughs where there's some kind of issue we're talking about in Russia. So many of them were doing all this kind of doping stuff, and they were killing people, like not killing, but they were destroying the competition. Not all of them, he was saying, but it was a big thorn in his butt because it affected him until they found out what was going on. And he said not all of them, but a lot of them were on it. Again, you got caught.
Yeah.
Don't count. You win a gold medal, you get caught. Don't count.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, but so-and-so was doing it. I got proof. You're saying you got proof, but this test don't say nothing. Don't count.
Yeah. And then with Khabib as well, if there's any, I'm going to take GSP out of the equation here, but if there was any fighter in past, present, who you could pit him against, who would it be?
Without GSP?
Yeah.
Were you talking about money?
No, just
boxing. Talking about money. What are you talking about? Making the most money or MMA guy?
Not the money, but just pure out of a challenge sort of side of it, to pit his skills against somebody else. Obviously, it's hard to it's probably hard to choose without GSP in that.
Yeah, because he destroyed everybody else. That's why I'm asking if you're talking about money. Then obviously, and if you're not talking about specific MMA, if you're talking about money in MMA, it's Conor. If you're talking about money in fighting, it's Floyd Mayweather. So it just depends on how you want to yeah, that's it. If you're talking about challenges and what he wants, he'll go Floyd.
Yeah. And how interesting is that fight for you? Obviously, because Khabib's not known for his boxing.
Oh man, that's a hell of a challenge. Not a challenge I would want to take.
It would definitely be interesting to see, because
that's a challenge, man. Not a challenge I would want to take. That's a challenge, buddy.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. And what do you make of all this, all the boxing sort of circus is going on around the world now with the Paul brothers? I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah, of course I've heard of them. I know everything about them. Not everything about them, but I know what they're doing. I think they're marketing geniuses. I think that I don't care what anybody says. This is sports entertainment. And I don't care what you say or what you say. They don't earn the right. Well, they've earned the right. They put themselves out there. They got 20+ million followers. They sell pay-per-view, so more people want to watch them fight than watch you. So how can you tell me they don't deserve that right? Okay, you say, I fought 50 years and I've done this, I've done that. You go fight on TV, you got 10 people watching you. These guys just came into the business. They got this many people, 2 million people going to watch them. 20 people going to watch you. But you've been doing it your whole life. Who deserves it? Maybe in work-wise you do, but who's going to pay for it? Promoter is going to put you on there because you think you've earned it. This guy's going to make him this much money. You're going to make him that much money. That's it. If it was a legit sport, okay, like college basketball or the NFL, you know, number one, always number two. Number one, always number two. There's no, okay, let's bring the worst team in the league that's got the biggest following, fight, you know, play football with the you know, Super Bowl champions. That'll never happen.
Mm-hmm.
But in fighting, that can happen. You can grab a person that's never done nothing, put them in and play, and that'll happen because people view it, and that's it.
Yeah, in a sense, that's what the whole Floyd and Conor, or in a dream world, it could be Floyd and Khabib. It's the same.
Okay, look at the same thing. Logan Paul. What does he have? 30 million YouTubers or something like that? Someone told me.
I don't know.
He's fighting Floyd Mayweather. He's 0-2. 0-2. He's fighting arguably the greatest fighter of all time, and he's 0-2 against non-boxers. But they're doing it. Why? Mm-hmm. Why are they doing it? Because this guy has got 30 million followers on YouTube, and probably people gonna be dumb enough to buy it. And I say dumb enough because I think it's dumb enough. Okay, his brother, on the other hand, I think that kid's got some serious talent, and I think he can do really well. Logan, he's got some serious skills here, but fighting skills, I watched him, none. He's not the same level. His brother, on the other hand, that kid's got some serious skills. He can go far. How far? I don't know. Match him right, get him the right people. He can do well. The other one, from my eyes, I don't see him being any challenge for Mayweather. I see Mayweather just smashing the shit out of him. You know?
Yeah, he's definitely going to play with him a bit.
So let's put it this way: am I interested? No, not at all. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care. Now, if his brother fought Mayweather, I might be a little interested, but I might not care too much either because it's going to be the same result. Just the brother has a little bit more because his brother, from the little bit I've seen, has got some serious power.
Yeah, he definitely does seem to have a bit of talent there, and he's definitely the main thing is that he's got is he's actually working for it as well. Not to say that Logan Paul isn't going to work for it, but they both obviously have the grind in them to do that.
Well, the bottom line is one is more talented than the other, and Jake Paul's got some serious skill. I believe from the little bit I watched, he's got some serious skill. His brother Logan, I haven't watched very much of him. I watched his fights. I didn't see any serious skill in the fights. I was kind of like I didn't even was interested. But Jake, I kind of went, whoa, this guy got power. So he got my attention. His brother Logan didn't get my attention at all. It was an entertaining for people. For me as a so-called professional that I'm supposed to be, no interest in watching Logan. Jake got my interest because there was some serious skill there that I think could be honed, and with the right coaching, I think could do really well. And for what I've been told, you know, he's a high school 4-time wrestling champion or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but he's good. I heard he's a good athlete. He looks like he'd be a good athlete to me. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they both wrestled when they was in high school, but I'm not sure exactly the accolades that they've got. But yeah, they definitely wrestled when they were younger.
Yeah.
But enough about boxing YouTubers and stuff like that. Let's get back onto MMA.
Yeah.
So obviously Islam's going to be fighting soon as well against I think it's Drew Dober, I believe.
Yeah.
With Islam, how far do you think he's away from a title shot? Because there's been talk of he's the next Khabib and all of this stuff. So
much in his advancement, I think beating RDA would have advanced him really greatly. Would have put him at least in the top 6, 7. Beating Drew Dober, I don't think it's going to put him too much further than where he's at now, because Drew is better than what his status says, but so is Islam.
Yeah.
So, but that ain't going to change the ranking, bro. I don't think it's going to change much. I don't think this is going to. If he'd have fought RDA and demolished RDA like I think he was, then he would have been in the top 10, lower, you know, top 5 somewhere, not below top 5, but he would have been up there. He'd have been up there. They'd have jumped him up pretty good. This isn't going to jump him too much. Maybe 1, maybe 2. RDA would have put a 4 or 5 or 6 jump.
Yeah, definitely. RDA definitely holds a more prestigious name for especially in the lightweight division as well, because he's a former lightweight champion.
RDA proved it. RDA's proved it. His history says former champion. I mean, he's good. RDA is good. So, you know, Drew Jober's good. The problem is no one knows him, and he's ranked. You know, he's ranked above Islam, right? He's not ranked below Islam, is he?
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the thing. He's probably the only guy that's willing to fight him too. RDA was one. They were having a hard time matching him. Nobody wanted to fight him. And you know what? Rightfully so. If I'm a coach and you say, "Oh, we got Islam Makhachev," listen to that. I'm going, and my guy's number 5 or number 6, you know, or number 3 or number 2. I'm gonna go, no, thank you. His ranking's not high enough for us to risk it. Nope, we want the title. We fight him. We don't do good. We don't, even if we win, we don't get a title. We fight him, we get our ass kicked, you know, then we lose our title shot. No, it's not a good move to fight Islam.
Yeah, yeah. And then comparing Islam to Khabib, is like, would you say Islam's striking is better than Khabib, or is it still got a way to go?
No, Islam's striking was always better than Khabib's. You know, he's an incredible striker, incredible kicker, incredible knee, incredible ground guy, incredible everything. Islam is the next big thing to Khabib in sparring. I always tell people that if Khabib doesn't win, he wins every sparring session, and I say he does lose rounds. He does lose rounds here and there. Khabib does, but I never told anybody who he loses rounds to. I told somebody that they just interviewed me before you. He loses rounds, but the rounds he's lost to all were Islam. Now, 8 years, never lost a round. 8 years, never lost a round. But one person beats him every so often here and there. How good is he?
That says a lot.
You got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
How good is Islam Makhachev? Outside of catching him with a good shot and taking him out, good luck. Good luck doing everything to him. Good luck with it. He's that good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to his career progressing. But like you said, the only problem is for Islam is because everyone knows him because of like what he's done so far, and then he's part of Khabib's team and your team. It is a struggle to get him matchups because, like you said, nobody wants to fight him.
Nobody wants to fight him. The managers always tell me, "You can't get no one to fight him." I go, "Why?" Because he's too tough and too high up there. He's not. If he was lower ranked, they'll risk it, but he's not. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't fight him either. If I'm managing my guy, I ain't fighting that guy. It's just the reward is not worth the risk.
100%, definitely. And then obviously it's not just Islam that's going to be fighting soon. Hopefully we're going to see Umar Nurmagomedov as well. He's in Bellator, right? Usman, sorry.
Usman in Bellator.
Yeah.
Most gifted out of anybody I've ever trained in my whole entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's
all my years of coaching, all the fighters I've ever trained, he is the most gifted fighter, not athlete, fighter, not athlete, fighter. Okay. Athlete would be the greatest athlete I've ever trained would probably have to be Herschel Walker, Luke Rockhold type athlete, but the greatest fighter, gifted fighter, Usman. Yeah.
And he's only, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's only 22, so he's very young for the sport as well. So that's very exciting to
11-0, 22 years old. The Dagestan Luke Rockhold, I call him the finisher.
And was you surprised that he didn't sign with the UFC?
No, because Islam's there. Not surprised at all.
Okay.
Let him go over there and gain a Bellator title and give Bellator, the Russian connection. Why not?
Yeah, it's definitely, when you look at it like that, it is a good idea to have them spread out a bit.
Yeah. Put him with Bellator. Put him in UFC. They're gonna collide, and then they're gonna have to avoid each other. They'll have to fight each other, which they never will. Like Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier. We got in that situation, and if they had to fight, they had to fight. But Daniel Cormier would never fight Cain, so that's why he dropped weight.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why he dropped weight is because to avoid fighting his partner that he loved. You know, he'll never fight Cain. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And then just talking about DC, he's like one of my favourite fighters as I've been a fan of MMA, and I've really enjoyed seeing his career. And it's been quite a year for you as a coach to see like two of your fighters you've worked with a long time. They've retired this year, not this year, last year, 2020. How was that year? How was that for you?
I've always known things come to an end. I've been doing it for a long time, but I've always, I got caught, honestly speaking, I got caught being a little lazy, not building the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. But, circumstances put me in a situation where I'm the head coach for Team Eagle and I'm the head coach for AKA. We're okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay. We may not have a champion yet, but don't be surprised if we have one or two this year. So we're okay. We're strong as ever, if not the strongest, because combined. If we're not the strongest team in the world, we're still top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised from listening to you talk and like the stuff that you said and seeing the potential in all of your fighters that you will have a champion in Bellator, a champion in UFC.
Oh, no. We're going to have more champions. Team Eagle, Team AK is going to have more champions. That's a given. Iron sharpens iron. It ain't about my coaching. It's about the people together. And we do have a program. We do have a set system that's going to produce champions. Because when you have a set program, you're producing champions. The Olympic guy, this guy, they're coming to you. Mm-hmm. And guess what you're building? Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Why is ATT doing so well? They got these great amenities. They got all this money for these guys, and they got a lot of talent over there. A lot of talent. So ATT is always up there. We're small compared to them. We're tiny. But yet, here we are. As tiny as we are, we've been neck to neck with everybody, if not ahead of them. If not ahead, we're below. My thing is number one, whatever. Hey, you know what? Top 10. I shot for top 10 in the rest of my life for coaching, and I've said that in 2005, and I've been correct since 2005. 15 years strong. Been top 10. The last more years we're in top 5. So no, I'm not giving up on that top 10 thing. We're not. Our status is still. We're not. Obviously, we don't have champions who we can't say you're number one, or maybe I can if Habib's not retired. I don't know. I can't say he's retired. I can't say nothing because I don't talk to him about it. And Dana can tell us because Dana's gonna do what he can do, and we'll see. We'll see whether Habib comes out or not. I don't know. I can't tell people, oh no, he's retired. I don't know. I never talked to him about it. I didn't even know he was gonna. I didn't even know what he did. He was very emotional, So for me, it's like, we'll see. Obviously, think about this, okay? Honestly, if you're officially retired, then you would be off the USADA testing pool. 100% officially retired. You wouldn't have done it. Look at Habib's post. He did USADA again. Why? I haven't talked to Habib. I haven't said, hey, why'd you do the test? Because I don't think it's 100% done. I'm not saying it's on. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying I don't think it's done. When Brock Lesnar went to the WWE, he was out of the testing pool. Okay? He was done. Brock Lesnar wanted to come back. He had to wait before he can get back on. He had to get back on the testing pool. He couldn't just come on and fight in 3 months. He had to get back in USADA testing pool before he's able to fight. So you can't say you're retired when you're still in the USADA testing pool. And that's why Dana hasn't pulled the plug. And no one's talked to me about it, but I'm an intelligent man. I've been around long enough to know that the plug's not pulled yet.
Yeah. And that gives us all hope. Not just from you saying that, but the fact that he's still in the testing pool, that gives us all hope that we get to see Khabib one more time get to 30-0.
Yeah, I don't know. He's in the testing pool. I do know that.
Yeah, definitely. So back to DC again. What did you think of it? What did you think of DC's career overall?
One of the greatest of all time. Had he Retired properly, he'd right now probably regarded as the greatest of all time, but his last two fights declined them. He's still one of the greatest of all time. He fought past father time and injuries, you know, and it cost him realistically being considered pound for pound the greatest.
And when do you think would have been the best time for DC to retire? Before, like after the first Stipe?
After the first Stipe fight, if he'd have just retired, undoubted you couldn't say nothing.
Yeah, I agree. And like, obviously he wanted to give Stipe the rematch and so on and so on. But having seen his career develop and go from where he's gone from, like being from the heavyweight to the lightweight and dropping down because of Kane and all of that, is there any wish that he sort of, I don't know, sort of like stayed in heavyweight but didn't sort of want to fight Kane? I know he didn't want to fight Kane, but is there any wish that he sort of stayed in heavyweight to have a better career up there rather than go down to light heavyweight? Because obviously he was great at light heavyweight, but I think he would have had a better career at heavyweight.
I agree 100%. If Kane had not been a top heavyweight and involved, and I think Kane to me was the greatest heavyweight of all time potential. He just never accomplished that due to injuries. But I think DC, had Kane not been there, DC would have never dropped the weight. He would have just stayed there, and he would have gained the title, and he would have fought many times. DC would have smashed everybody, because all the heavyweights he smashed prior to Stipe, he smashed them. But then the problem was age. Age got him, back problem, and back problems and age. I mean, come on, man. You know, it's like, and then undersized too. He had a lot of things going against him, man.
Yeah, he was definitely undersized for the weight class in the heavyweight, but he has the skill and he has all of the knowledge as well. He's a very knowledgeable guy to be fighting. Like the amount of knowledge that he has, you can see it in his commentary as well. Oh yeah, the love. He's the best, man. He's the best. I love watching him. He's my guy. But look, I love watching DC. He's an entertainer, man. Yeah, I love watching him as well, and I do enjoy his commentary. And one of my favourite moments of all time, really, in MMA is when Rose Namajunas knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and DC was on the commentary, and he was just shouting "Fuck Rose, fuck Rose." That's got to be my favourite moment.
Yeah, he's great.
He is great. Yeah. And then on to another fighter of yours that we haven't really heard much from recently is Luke Rockhold. Is there any word on a return for him, or whether he's done? Or
well, I really can't comment on Luke because he hasn't really been with us for 3-4 years. You know, he's not really. He's AK forever, but training wise, he don't live in our area. He's moved out a long time ago. Okay. You know, he moved out from our area after his loss to Bisping. When was that? When was his loss to Bisping? Good
while ago. I can't remember which year.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't been with us since then. I mean, I worked his corner, me and Crazy Bob Cook, because he said we'll always be with him. Mm-hmm. But he didn't train with us. He hadn't trained with us since the Bisping fight.
Yeah. And would you like to see him return?
Yeah, it's up to him. I mean, he's not punch drunk. He's not washed up. He's still young enough. He's talented as hell. It's up to him. It's up to him. Obviously his chin is not solid rock. Obviously, I mean, we can't say it is. It's not. But hey, listen, Thomas Hearns was one of the greatest boxers of all time. Had a weak chin too, and he was again one of the greatest boxers of all time. So there you go. Luke Rockhold's not finished if he doesn't want to be finished.
Yeah, definitely. And then what would be like, where would you see his like preferred weight, not his preferred weight class, but where would you see like the best weight class for Luke? Because obviously he's dabbled in like heavyweight as well.
For me, I think 185 is his best weight. As he got older, he didn't want to make that switch. But I think because he used to walk around 210, bro. 210. So 185, I think, is his best weight. But I think so. 209, 210. That was his walk around weight. I'm sure as he got older, he's probably walk around 250, 220. So that's probably rougher to get down there. But ideally, I think 185 was his best weight.
Yeah. And then I just want to ask you a little bit about like the John Jones move into heavyweight. What's your opinion on that? How well do you think he's going to do?
This is how well I think he's going to do. John Jones is a mathematician. He's calculated. He's a tactician. He cares about winning, that he'll do whatever he needs to do to make sure he wins. And if he's going to enter the heavyweight division, he's going to do it correctly. He's going to have pack on the muscle, and he's going to throw the people around. And from what I heard way back 6, 7, 8 years ago, he's smashing all the heavyweights then as a light heavyweight. And he was walking around 230 or so, bro. So, he could have fought heavyweight back then, and he smashed people. So, if DC did it, don't tell me John Jones couldn't do it. Damn right he could do it. He's that good. So, yeah, John Jones could smash heavyweights, and I see him smashing everybody at heavyweight. I don't see him not. I see his most dangerous opponent being Ngannou. But if Ngannou can't keep a stand up, Ngannou gets thrown to the ground, which that's what I would have in the game plan for Jones, along with the striking. I would look to take his ass on the ground. If Ngannou can't survive the ground, he's going to get drowned. But if they stand, Ngannou's, man, I think he's the hardest hitting heavyweight in the history of the UFC. I've never seen anybody as fast and hits as hard as he does. So he's a serious threat. But I'm not going to put nothing past John Jones. I mean, I'm not. I see him destroying everybody at heavyweight too. I really do.
Yeah. And then just because you mentioned it earlier, is like Israel Adesanya is one of your favourite fighters to watch. Obviously, there's been a bit back and forth between John Jones and Izzy as well. How would you see that fight going?
I see that fight going unbelievably fantastic. But at heavyweight, there could be a problem. At the light heavyweight, I actually, honestly, I got to tell you, I favored Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not saying he would have won. I'm just saying I favor him. And the reason being is that, he's an incredible striker, man. Incredible striker. And so is Jones. But I favor Israel. But that's just me. I'm a fan here. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan to a fan. You and I were saying, oh, I got grapes. No, I like oranges. Well, okay. Grapes win. Yeah. We can make wine and get drunk. Oranges, what do you can make out of that? Juice, orange juice. Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. And then that's all the questions I've got personally for you. I've just got a few from Instagram, follow people, if that's fine. So I'll just do a bit quickly, just because we don't want to waste up too much of your time. So first of all, if there was anything you could put your finger on, what would be Khabib's weakness?
Kicking,
knee,
elbowing.
Yeah. Okay. Does Islam have a good or higher potential than Khabib? But we've already sort of spoke about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who trains the hardest at AKA?
The hardest? Man.
Everyone.
So many, man. So many. Hardest ones that trained like a mother was, man, Cain Velasquez was a beast, was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
The Habib was a beast. Umar, Habib, beast. Daniel Cormier, not Daniel. At times when Daniel was in fight mode, he was, but those guys, and there's younger guys no one's heard of that train like beasts, but those guys in particular, they're known. Those guys were beasts,
Mm-hmm.
Beasts.
Yeah, and then who's the next champion out of AKA?
Eagles MMA or AKA?
AKA. That. The question was AKA, so we'll leave it at AKA. Okay,
AKA. We got a bunch of young guys coming up, but the one that has a good chance is the AKA Thailand, Emmanuel Cape, Kape. Yeah, I think I haven't been there because I've been here. He was at AKA Thailand, so and I've been here, and then he's in San Jose now with Ron Kessler, our head jiu-jitsu coach. and they're all saying he's something. So he's got a real tough fight. We'll see, but he's the closest because obviously, you know. And then the other ones that are in the UFC that are really good is Gabriel Benitez, you know, and you know, if he can always put something together, it's going to do really well. But the closest one is Cape.
Yeah, and then out of Eagles MMA, that would be Islam, I presume.
Hands down.
Yeah,
hands down. He will be the champion. In my heart, he will be the next champion.
And what's the most difficult or challenging part of training an MMA fighter?
What's the most? Getting them to be well-rounded and do everything.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that one. And stylistically, how would you see a fight between Khabib and Charles Oliveira?
Stylistically, meaning he's just going to take him down and smash him.
Yeah. As we do, have we seen 29 times?
He's just going to take him down and smash him. Charles Oliveira has no takedown defense. He's a good striker. Khabib just take him down, smash him, because he's got to worry about being punched. He'll take him down and smash him. End of story. No takedown defense. We'll get smashed.
And then, is Sambo the best base for MMA?
What's the best base?
Is Sambo the best base for MMA?
It's a great base for MMA. It's definitely one of them. So let's just say it's not the best, but it's right there with the jiu-jitsu, right there with the wrestling. Those are all three great bases. Pick whatever you want, but you better learn them all.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sambo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. You have those three combo, you're going to be unbeatable in wrestling if you're proficient in all three. You understand? Yeah. It's like boxing, Thai boxing, Taekwondo. Learn all three, you're unbeatable proficiently.
Yeah. And did Khabib and his late father help you with improving your own coaching?
No. I still coach the same. No.
And then when is Usman's Bellator debut?
I hope soon. I hope the new year. I hope next month or March. I hope.
Okay, hopefully. What are your thoughts on Conor McGregor's coach, John Kavanagh?
I think he's a good guy. I think he's a real good guy. I met him once. I like him. He's a good guy. You know, he's got firecrackers under him, you know, that spout off and are you know, they're not respectful towards other people, but he himself appears to be a very respectful person. Mm-hmm. You can never hold the coach responsible for the fighter's antics. You know, you can't. He can't control. Hey, I've had some fighters that were jerks. I can't control them.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't make me a jerk. It makes my fighter a jerk. Doesn't make me a jerk.
Definitely, you're different people.
Yeah, we're different people, and just because you think with us coaches we control these fighters, yeah, wake up, try being a coach and see if you can control these stars. Mm-hmm. No way, man, no way. You can do whatever you can. You know, Khabib was controlled not by me. He was controlled by his upbringing, by his father, how he was brought up as a man, not how he was coached by me. Mm-hmm. His father. That's how he. So yeah, no.
Okay. Can you see yourself living in the Middle East?
Half of the time. when it's nice like this, yes.
Yeah.
For sure. When it's hot like it is, the other time first time I got, hell no, it's like it's only it's too hot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Beautiful city in the world, safest city in the world, great culture, you know, great people. Right now during this time is the best time to be here. Oh my gosh. If you've never been to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, if you can make it your bucket list. It is a destination for sure. But come summertime. It's hot. Unless you like it real hot. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's still beautiful. I came in the summertime. It's still great. It's just so hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I spoke to a few fighters that have said like they've even took a trip down to the beach and they went to get into the sea and they would just walk straight back out because it's too hot in the sea.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. What's the most effective martial art to know in a street fight?
The mind. Cobb McGraw proved that.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you can to survive. Cobb McGraw proved that.
Yeah, I like that answer. It's a very good answer. And then, do you think if Khabib rematched Conor, it would go the same way?
100%. Might go easier.
Yeah. Advice for people starting out in MMA?
If you want to fight, go to a gym that has fighters. If you want to learn martial arts, go to a gym that you feel comfortable with, that you feel good, that makes you feel appreciated, that you have a good feeling when you go in there. But if you want to fight and you want to be a fighter, go to a gym that has fighters. Don't go to a gym that has no fighters. Go to a gym that has fighters. If you have a selection of gyms to go to the gym that has the best fighters.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. And then, what's your favorite part about coaching?
My favorite part is being able to teach something and actually see it in action and seeing their appreciation, to you for what you taught them. And seeing them being successful in what you teach.
Yeah. Are you going to do any more podcasts for your YouTube channel?
Yes, we're going to do more podcasts. Quite a bit. We're actually going to do quite a bit of them. Yes.
Good. Looking forward to that. Who is the naughtiest in the Khabib team?
Abubakar, Manap, Habib's cousin. He's the prankster. He's my DC, Dagestan DC. I call him Dagestan gangster. He's my gangster. I love him to death.
Okay, and then why doesn't Islam have a fight nickname? And if you could give him one, what would it be?
Smooth. No, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. He doesn't want a nickname, so I don't really know. I don't know. He's the quiet one. I don't know. The quiet one? I don't know. I don't know what to name him yet. I've yet to think that one out. Or Umar. Umar's Little Beast.
Yeah.
Zubair I call Wolf. Zubai call Wolf. Manap, I just call him Manap. Manap is Manap. That's Abubakar, Habib's cousin.
Yeah.
Abubakar, yeah.
What's been your favorite moment in the octagon?
Frank Shamrock when he beat Tito Ortiz in I forgot what it was, 2000 or whatever, when he beat him on the game plan was perfect. It was the most exhilarating moment of my life to have such a game plan that only him and I knew about, and he executed it. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can imagine that's an amazing feeling. And then, whose jab is better, DC's or Khabib's?
Oh man, it all depends. I mean, I don't know, man. They both love what they do. DC is great at what he does, is destined to make millions, and Habib is great at what he does, is destined to make millions. Either he fights again. One thing for sure. DC will never fight again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know that. And then when someone that new comes into your gym, what do you look for in a fighter to know that they're going to be special, or to know that they can make it?
Ability obviously is number one. Attention, ability, attention, and how do they take instructions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, who is the hardest fighter that you've experienced to keep to a game plan during a fight?
I lost blank on that one because someone come to my mind real quick. They don't listen for shit, but he wins anyways.
It's all right, we can come back to it if you want.
Luke Rockhold. That's who it was. Luke Rockhold. He does what he wants. He wins anyways.
Is there anyone in the gym that surprised you with how far they've come or improved?
John Fitch, my biggest, proudest moment, and it's because he did it without me. He became a world champion at the WFL. He actually should have won the Bellator title. They robbed him, in my opinion. And he's my proudest moment because he used the AK system and he proved that it worked. Iron sharp as iron. He didn't have me as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guided him. I told him things to do, but I wasn't working with one-on-one. And he's my proudest moment because he proved that you can do it without someone that's so-called great coach or good coach. He proved that.
Mm-hmm. And then
hard work, not that talented, hard work.
Yeah, definitely. I believe it. I believe in hard work. Even if you don't have the skill, sometimes if you put the hard work in, you can always get to a certain point where that hard work is going to take you. Obviously, sometimes you need the skill to back that up as well, but hard work is always going to get you so far.
He never believed in no. He never believed in no. He believed in himself, and he achieved greatness. He achieved greatness. I mean, people don't think much of it when I say he's my proudest moment, but he's my proudest moment. They were trying to say, well, when he beat this, or my proudest fight and moment was when Frank Shamrock beat Tito Ortiz. But my proudest fighter achievement, was John Fitch.
Mm-hmm. And then last one, was it ever difficult to find training partners for Khabib? And I know that's probably a bit of a silly question because he probably does a lot of his training with and sparring with his own Eagle team.
Yeah, that's a negative. Never happened because he brings them with him, and we had plenty for him too. So he just murders Rowe, and he destroyed them all. The one that gave him the toughest, the only really challenge was Sizzlem. That's it. Islam was his only smashed everybody. And if anybody can say whatever they want to say, then if they disagree, then when did you smash him? They're going to go, nope, I never did. They did.
Anyway, that's all the questions. And I really appreciate how much time you spent with us. And I look forward to seeing everything from AKA in the future. And of course, Eagles MMA.
Yes, buddy. Thank you. Sorry about yesterday.
It's absolutely fine. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your time in Abu Dhabi.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, huh? I'll talk to you soon.
See you, mate.